99% of people will never become rich because of these 4 things I'm going to show you. These 4 things are not anything too strange. You know them. Some of us know them, or some people know them. But the problem is what? Implementing them and letting them work in your life. But this life, success is not about what you know. It is about what? Doing what you know. Number 1 is not reading personal development and financial literacy books. Over 90% of adults don't read a book after they have completed school. I want to give you my real life story so that you will know how reading can help you. There's a saying that readers today are leaders tomorrow. And successful and voracious readers like Elon Musk. You see, if you see successful people like Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, these are voracious readers. These are people who read an average of 5 books, 1 book in a month, or 52 books in a year. If you want, check online. Check the most successful people, and you will see that they are all readers. I've never seen a millionaire who is not a reader. Now, my own personal life, when I completed university and I was doing my national service in 2017, after completing, I was not a reader. In fact, I used to have a few books, but I was not that into reading. Until July 2018, when I finished my national service. I bought Think and Grow Rich in 2015, but I never read it. It was always lying in my room. Until when I finished my service, one day, I was having 1 month free, and I decided to use that month. That time I was teaching extra classes to SHS students who were preparing for their NOPTEC. So I decided to use that time to read a book, because in the daytime I was always doing nothing. The day I started Think and Grow Rich, reading that book, and the day I ended, was a total transformation of my life. It was Think and Grow Rich that taught me how to turn the dreams that I dream in my mind into a reality. It was Think and Grow Rich that taught me how to make things that people think are impossible possible. It was Think and Grow Rich that it changed my mind, my thinking about life. In Think and Grow Rich, I discovered that someone thought of building a university and needed $1 million and never had even $1,000. But he was able to conceive an idea in 48 hours. The day he conceived the idea, within 48 hours, he achieved the dream. That is why Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says, if you can conceive and believe something, you can achieve it. It is not just a mere saying. I have experienced it, and I can tell you, when I started reading books in 2018, from that time to now, that's about 6 years, I can tell you that my life is 20 times better than where I used to be. This is not an exaggeration. It is a reality I am telling you. It reflected in my earnings, in my value, and the quality of life I am living now. It is reflected. And it is the books that I am reading. Because when I read that book and finished, it recommended, I saw, wow, so there are interesting ideas in books like this. And it started demystifying some of the things I used to previously believe. Because I used to think that those that are successful, they are people who came from what? Rich families. But when I started reading that book, or when I finished that book, I realized that over 80% of billionaires and millionaires are self-made. They didn't come from families that they inherited. They didn't come from families where they bequeathed those wealth to them. They actually worked hard and made it. And that book also directed me, or from there, I went and read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read The Millionaire Fast Lane and other books, and they started changing my mind. So, reading personal development and financial literacy books is one of the number one things. Look, until your mind changes, until the content of your mind changes, your life in its physical form will not change. And I encourage you to read. As I said, a reader today is a leader tomorrow. If you want to be at where you want tomorrow, you must start reading today. That's the number one thing. Okay, we go to the second. The second reason why 99% of people will never become rich is they lack discipline. There is a saying that discipline is the bridge or the gap between where you are now and where you want to be in the future, or between your wishes or your goals and actually achieving those goals. Discipline is doing what you should do, even if you don't feel like doing it. As I speak to you, sometimes I sleep and I wake up midnight. I have to get up. Thinking and working midnight goes so faster. Those of you who are having certain things you want to do and you are finding it difficult to do it. Put this advice into practice and see. Put in the habit of sleeping and waking up very early. Even if you cannot wake up midnight, wake up an hour earlier. When I wanted to start my company, I didn't have the money. You know one thing I did? I used to, as a teacher, I will close from work. And despite being so tired, I had to go and be roaming in the market, going from store to store, from shop to shop, from house to house, selling and trying to organize money so that I can pay for some of the things that I needed. How many teachers in today's world will agree after closing from being a teacher, you go and be roaming around? Sometimes I used to see some of my students and I'll be hiding because I don't want them to see me and know that I'm the same person who was teaching them in class. But I had to do it because it was something that I needed that will help me achieve my goal. You see, so discipline. You have to discipline yourself. Even when I started the company, I was teaching. So I have to always close around 3 p.m. and come to the office and work from around 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Imagine you wake up in the morning, you go to school and teach till 3:30, and from 3:30 you go to the workplace, your office, and start working around 4:30, and you close around 10 p.m. How many people can do it? It's not that I was having so much extraordinary strength. It is because I wanted to achieve something. That is what made me do it. So discipline. This life, as I said earlier on, success is not about knowing what you should do. It's about doing it. Most of you watching me, you know what you should do. There are certain things you know that to achieve this, you have to do this. But you don't do it. You have to develop habit. That will get to an extent where if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you don't feel comfortable. So that's the second reason why 99% of people will not get to where, will not become rich. We go to the third reason. The third reason why 99% of people will never become rich is lack of vision and clear planning. A lot of people don't plan. And if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a vision, how will you even get to where you are going? Because you don't even know where you are going. You must have a vision and a clear plan concerning where you want to get to in life. And that is very, very crucial and necessary. You see, there is something we call a vision board. Do you have a vision board? I can say 90% of people watching me don't have a vision board. Do you have a to-do list? Be honest to yourself. You see, if you don't have a to-do list, you don't have a vision board, you don't have a budget, adults, you don't have a budget, how will you ever become financially free? You must have a budget. You must always write down a list of the things you want to buy and compare it against your income and look at what are necessities for you and focus on that. But once you don't have a budget, you will always buy whatever comes your way that you want, you feel like buying. And once you are that type of person, you will never become financially free. So you must have a vision, you must have a to-do list, you must have yearly, monthly, and daily goals and weekly goals so that you have a clear vision. This is where I want to get to. You must have a vision board where you look at and watch every day and imagine where you want to get to. If you do that, it is going to help you a lot. So from today, if you don't have a vision board, if you don't have a to-do list, if you don't have a budget, start now. I'll go to the fourth one. The fourth reason why most people will never become financially free or they will never become rich is that they fear to take risks. I've never seen a successful person or a rich person who does not take risks or who did not take risks. As I speak to you, I'm not at where I want to be today, but my life is far better than where I was. I was a teacher as of 2021 under Ghana Education Service, and I wanted to focus on my digital marketing career full time. It was really a difficult task for me to do because at that time, my business was just earning me a little. And I knew there was a potential, but how do I gather the courage to resign from the teaching and do it? But as I was contemplating, I was reading books that were giving me courage and determination. One day, I made a decision that I'm going to stop the teaching or I'm going to quit. Teaching is not bad, but if you know that that is not where you want to be, you must gather the courage. When I quit, I have never regretted. Because when I quit, the first month, I could see that I was able to earn several times more than what I was even earning as a teacher. But there was a clear road, but I was afraid. But when I was able to gather the courage and left, or to leave the teaching, I have seen so much difference. So I want to encourage you today. Your own may not necessarily be about teaching, but you are in a certain career that you know that that place is never where you were meant to be. You know where you are supposed to be, but you are afraid. I encourage you to take action now. You know that, okay, this particular thing you are doing is not good for you. You are supposed to do something else, but you don't have the courage to leave it. You must take the risk. Some of you, you know that, okay, you are supposed to take a certain risk and get to the other side, but you don't have the courage. Remember, there's a certain man called Captain Hernan Cortes. He led the Spanish people when they were coming to Mexico. They were fighting in those days to conquer the land. And that guy I mentioned his name was a commander. You know what he did? He drove his men, he led his men, and they passed through the sea with their ship. And when they got to their enemy's land, he asked them that, please burn all these ships. They burned all of them. But they asked him, why are we burning? How do we go back? And he said, burn them. I said you should burn them. They burnt it and finished. And he said, you have seen that we have burnt all our ships. It means that if we don't move, if we don't conquer our enemies, then we are dying. There's no way to retreat. There's no way to go back. Sometimes you have to get to a situation in life where you give yourself that, okay, I'm making this decision and I'm putting my all. If I succeed, I succeed. If I don't succeed, then I fail. And that is only when you can see real change and true change in your life. I have taken several risks, and as I speak to you, there are still a lot of risks I want to take and I am afraid. But I want to assure you, you may be in one part of the town. Let me say you are in some village, and you know that you want to move into the city, but you are afraid. As I'm going to the city, I don't have money yet. I don't know anyone there. How am I going to survive? Take that risk. I'm telling you to take that risk today. Maybe you want to travel to a different part of the world, but you are afraid of how you are going to survive within the first 2-3 years. I encourage you to take that risk. Once you have the conviction and you know that the other side, there is something positive, take the risk. For most of you, the only thing that is standing your way to getting this other side of the divide where you want to be in life is risk. Take that risk today. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you are watching it on YouTube, and also like and follow my Facebook page if you are watching on Facebook. Leave your comments in the comment section. I will follow up to help you. For those of you who want to contact me to patronize my digital marketing, personal development, and content creation courses, you are free to do that. I also do web development. All these services are available, and you can contact me to access any of them. I also do coaching, personal development coaching, to help you achieve the goals and dreams you want. Thank you once again. Remember to share this video to bless the life of someone, and we will together help to make the world a better place. Thank you once again. See you in the next video. Bye.